So now we've looked inside the keystore and looked inside the trust store. The keystore contains our certificate and our certificate authority. The trust store contains the certificate authority. We're just going to nav our way around using some USS commands to get back to the directory with the zowe.yaml file ready to run ZWE start to launch Zowe. So let's start Zowe. That's the started task name, ZWE JRW2P. That is because in the zowe.yaml file, we set the zowe.setup.security started task names to be ZWE JRW2P. We can also go and have a look at that in I've got a number of different proclibs, but ZWGRW2P one, we can see down here, is pointing back to our zowe.yaml file. So let's go and have a look at so we started task coming up. We should see ZWE AM000I, the 4 different services for the API mediation layer coming up. As well as the remainder of the Zowe desktop. Because we created our own certificate and we created our certificate authority, won't be a trusted certificate authority because we didn't give it a root, trusted root. Zowe will reject that certificate as being an invalid certificate internally with its own microservices. So we need to run launch Zowe with verified certificates set to be disabled, which is different from the default value, which is strict. That's the same sort of challenge you get when when you open a website that has a certificate that is perfectly good for encryption, but may have come from an untrusted source, which is an extra challenge just to make sure that the site you're trying to reach is actually genuinely that site and not somebody pretending to be that site, and perhaps trick you into revealing some data. And this is why we need to run with the disabled mode. So the API gateway is coming up on port number 17554. We can see it's being challenged with that. Let's go and check our certificate just to make sure. And we can see our certificate is our Zowe PKCS12 cert 1 Zowe sample. When it was, we got the nice 10-year expiry. We can also go and look at the details. So we can see it's a self-signed certificate because it signed itself. We can also start looking at other information about it. The extended key usage. It has client and server. we can see that the certificate was issued, and that's us with our sort of sample data. So we can see Zowe's using that certificate to launch itself.